Hey guys, it's Jasper here. We're back with more commentary, talking, and blabbering. Yeah. So, as you might have guessed, in this video, I'm going to be talking about my feelings, my thoughts when I read the third book in the Wings of Fire novel series, which dives into the perspective of my current favorite character, also known as Glory. I really had to slam on the gas for this video because I got a lot on my plate from school already. So, there's going to be an important channel update for you guys coming up tomorrow just to lessen my what is it called? My workload. Yes, my workload. All right. Without further ado, let's get started with today's talk about Book 3, The Hidden Kingdom. Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you guys to start this talk is how it's connected to what I recently fell in love with. When I mean recently, I mean I fell in love with it last year. So yeah, that thing is rainforests. I can't say how many times the story reminded me of floundering through slippery, slimy mud and keeping my eyes on the ground, trying not to break my ankles from a boulder, just to stop and appreciate the untouched gift from Mother Nature herself, without the sound of me tramping around the forest floor. There is just something so pacifying about going out for a hike in the forest, or as simple as taking a stroll in the park, for example. It's like anything that reminds you of work, school, or relationships that stresses you out seem to drift away. Because when you go out there to have a cup of chai with Mother Nature, nothing she offers you to hear or see will remind you of those. I used to not believe the articles when they say that taking a walk outdoors reduces stress. Well, look at me now. I went on more than 5 hiking trips ever since 2022. And this is actually a surprising thing for me, even for my parents. Because I used to live a very sedentary lifestyle, always on the computer all day. So yeah, it certainly is a big change in my life. And I have to say, I'm grateful I changed. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to appreciate Mother Nature's creations before mankind destroys it. I wouldn't be able to appreciate the moments of dirtying my pants when I stumble in sloppy mud. I wouldn't be able to appreciate the moments of being beside a titanic waterfall and letting it blow my glasses off my face. Seriously, if you haven't stood next to a big waterfall yet, I'm telling you, it feels like a freaking hurricane. You can literally feel the force. You don't even need to be underneath it. In fact, if you were, you would feel as if you're being crushed by a collapsing building. It's a really big world when you're not sitting on your computer all day. Being what my mom likes to call a tin can human. Yes, a tin can human. According to her, a tin can human is someone who spends most of their days in their rooms doing computer things like playing video games and only going out to eat or do number 1 or 2. Yeah, basically they spend most of their sedentary lives indoors. Like being confined in a tin can. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, you do. I think you do. I don't know. Do you guys get what I'm saying? I don't know. Now, besides the deep thinking and contemplation themed commentary, I got a few funny things to say after reading the book. One of them is when Glory, or Kinguju, I forgot who. Yeah, they were listing the names of the captured rainwings. So it went like Gibbon, Orchid, Splendor, Twalang. Wait a minute. That name kinda sounded funny. Oh wait, I know why. So last year, my friend made up a word he could use to censor a swear word. And he created this word called, Twalas. Yes, Twalas. If I remember correctly, it's Twalas, yes. It sounded similar to Twalang, so whenever I hear the name, I would always remember Twalas. Sorry, this might be incredibly offensive to any rainwings watching this video. It simply just sounds funny, guys, I'm sorry. It's like how my friend and her brother once laughed at the word boot. You can put it that way. Or how my friend and I laughed at someone's Minecraft username called Benolol. But we don't say it that way. We usually say it like Benolol, something like that. So yeah, it's still kind of funny till this day, And I don't even know what Benolol means. It's just a random word. Oh, and also, of course, I want to share with you guys a more in-depth reason why Glory is my current favorite character so far in the series. So if you were to ask me, Jasper, how would you describe Glory? I will straightforwardly say by a GIF. Ah, I can already see some bewildered faces back there. But I'm serious though. That's pretty much how I can describe glory, yeah. Which is by a GIF. Here, let me bring a few up on screen real quick. Look, this is it. This is how I would describe glory. She's like the type that would try so hard to hide her feelings by keeping a straight face, but ends up looking like this. He can really see through that. That's what makes her funny, you know. Faces like that are really laughable, for me at least. Because it's a silent reaction, and I like silent reactions. And I have another gift too. Take a look at this boy. He looks like he's really done with everything, does he? I could easily imagine this as Glory's face when she was being showered by rain and only rain when the DoD traveled to the rainforest. Again, it's so laughable. For me at least. Though on the other hand, she had a right to be done. Because she is a rainwing after all. And rainwings need sun. That rhymes, kind of. Yeah, anyway. It's an essential part of their health. They're like humans too. We need sun for vitamin D, which builds strong bones. For lowering blood pressure and preventing diseases. Yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm a real nerd. Well, actually, never mind. I think every living being needs a suntan to live happily and survive. Because, of course, the sun feeds the plants, and the plants feed the animals, and the animals feed other animals, and also humans. And then the animals feed the decomposers, the bacteria, because I'm saying, like, when they die, you know. Wait, if at the end, microscopic decomposers are the ones that will eat up any corpse regardless of their size or their level on the food chain, why aren't they considered apex predators? That's a hypothetical question. Another thing that makes Glory my favorite Wings of Fire character is relatability. Here, let me explain. You see, the part when Kingaju blabbered on and on while Glory's jaws were bound shut by the Nightwings sort of reminded me of these many moments at school. So I have this one friend, right, who is, well, a noisy chatterbox, if I have to be brutally honest. He likes to yammer around about stuff like Mario or Nintendo, even when nobody's interested. He likes to ask the utmost random questions at random times. So yeah, hearing that every day I come to school annoys the heck out of me. And the thing is, I'm not really vocal about that. I can't just yell at him to shut up. Because my social anxiety says no. Just like how Glory can't tell Kingaju to be quiet. Because she had bindings on her jaws. So yeah, this part had me looking back at those moments at school that I right now find funny. That is if I were watching me internally trying to stop myself from shutting him down. Because that's just who he is, you know. I can't change that. And because of that, nearly everyone in our class doesn't want to hang around with him. And I feel bad, you know? Like, it's sad, isn't it? So that's why even after a solid year, I decided to stay as his friend. Even to this day, I am still standing strong. Because when I knew this guy was going to be worthwhile from the very start, he would never lose me. Ever. Ever. I'll have to admit, he seemed like a dude who would make my third year in secondary school more lively when I first met him. And he sure did. Even if it annoys me sometimes. I used to get paired up in the group with him a lot during the first year of being his friend. And my other friends, well, they gave me a heap of respect for that. My friends used to label me as the patient dude in our class, given the number of times I've dealt with being in a group with my chatterbox friend. But I don't like being labeled as patient. I just don't feel like I deserve it, you know? So yeah, that's a little thing I want to share with you guys. Because it's something I keep coming back to from time to time. Oh, and one more minor thing that makes Glory my favorite is how enjoyable it is to draw and color her. Like in the series, she's meant to be described as a beautiful looking dragon. Which means that there are gonna be lots of scale patterns and features that can be played with in your own style. It's like doing makeup for a dragon, as I like to call it. Like you can do anything you want, whatever you want, anything. Anything you want, whatever you want, that paints your envisionment of glamorous rainwings like Glory. You know, something I am genuinely curious about is a boulder and a couple of trees. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, I'm talking about that ginormous hole in the boulder and another in the tree that had a tunnel leading to, like, what? Two different kingdoms? And when it was first introduced, I was like, what? How the hell is that possible? I mean, Starflight didn't know how it was possible either, so I have every right to be just as bewildered as they are. Like, the tunnel on the boulder led straight to the desert, which was like halfway across the continent. And to add to the mystery, it didn't even go down. It went straight. It's weird. Really weird. And at that time I was like, whoa, stuff just got all supernatural. I mean, like, what am I talking about? Stuff was already supernatural, starting from the second book. Like, we got Animus dragons, and we got two Mudwing soldiers, and then the kidnapping of the Rainwings. Well, that is until I find out that it's only the Nightwings carrying out their devious plans. But still, you know. Oh, and also, a lot of parts from this book actually send chills down my spine. Like, really? Some parts actually gave me goosebumps. I'll tell you that. One of them is straight up at the beginning, when the Mudwing soldiers were mysteriously murdered. That part presented like 4 major factors that make it scary. Forest, fog, screaming, and corpses. All 4 of them are an excellent recipe for horror scene. Think about it. Just think about it. It's an excellent recipe, you know? This other part is kind of minor, but it is still creepy to me. So you guys remember the part when the DoD stayed up the night to catch this mysterious monster that has been eating sloths and possibly kidnapping the Rainwings, right? Do you remember the moment when Deathbringer started whistling at the Boulder Tunnel entrance? Yeah. You remember that? That part gave me freaking goosebumps. Bro. Goosebumps. Because, like, here, let me explain it, alright? Before the story revealed that it was Deathbringer, he was only described as a black outline, especially because it happened in the dead of night. It's like shadow people, you know? And if you haven't seen shadow people in your life ever, or a picture, or maybe, yeah, if you haven't seen an image of shadow people, they're by far the scariest things on the planet, bro. Scariest, sinister. I can't think of any other words. Don't look it up, because it'll give you nightmares. Or just do it if you're brave enough. And to make things even more creepy, he wasn't just whistling any random song. He was whistling the song that Clay played when he was back at the Skywing prison. It just feels so sinister, you know? Like the song was purposely made for a morale boost. But in this context, it delivers the complete opposite effect. Now that is an even better recipe for a horror scene. Prove me wrong otherwise. Right, that's pretty much all I want to say about the Hidden Kingdom. Actually, wait, I do have an honorable mention. This book's ending hits really different from previous books I read. Like, the first one is sort of like, oh, what a relief. They all survived and regrouped after being imprisoned in the Skywing Kingdom. And the second was no different. It went like, oh, what a relief. They all survived the bombing attack at the Summer Palace. But this one was like, yes! Queen Magnificent was no longer magnificent, as she had been smacked down by Glory, who we now should refer to as Glory, Queen of the Rainwings! Victorious, man. Victorious. Do you feel me here? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me blabber about Glory and this book. I really enjoyed making this specific video as well. Because, well, you know, it's about Glory, my favorite character. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I wish you all a good day. Peace.